I have 95 troops under me with 3,000 kids in 2 counties. What an awesome job. How in the world can Toastmasters help me at all?
As a Boy Scout executive, your job seems to be a lot about communication. You're communicating with 95 different Boy Scout leaders and sub-leaders and even with a bunch of boys at camporees and other events. And you're the conduit for all of the information that comes down from the district headquarters to these people. And they're counting on you to do a good job of being able to communicate succinctly the ideas that come through and the plans that come through from the headquarters. You're also a conduit of information for all those folks who have complaints or questions back up the line to the headquarters office, to be able to ask questions of them and get answers for them that they need to be able to run their troops well. So Toastmasters will enable you to be able to do that in a much more effective, efficient manner, not to be fazed by all the problems that arise, but be able to communicate well so that everybody knows where to be so they all show up at the same camporee at the same time.
Homemaker.
I'm a homemaker. How in the world can Toastmasters help me?
Are you a homemaker like a builder, or a homemaker like...
a homemaker like I take care of a home.
You take care
with
of
kids.
The inside of the home with kids.
Kids and a husband or a wife.
I am going to tell you...
So you tell us.
Here is where Toastmasters, you will learn how to breathe from your diaphragm and yell as loud as you possibly can at your kids. Now that's one thing. You get little books when you first join Toastmasters that tell you how to enunciate, how to speak, how to talk, and how to do it with confidence. Because let's be honest, if your kids don't believe you, they're not going to follow what you tell them to do. Okay? If there's no, you don't necessarily have to be mean and nasty or anything, but you got to know how to project your voice. And that's one of the things when you're with Toastmasters, you learn how to deliver your communication. And so your kids will learn that you mean business. Plus, we laugh a lot. We have a joke master every morning. So, you know, you're around your kids, you're always working around the house, there's always work to be done. So you come in here, you hang out with some adults, so you're getting away from the little kids, and you have a good time, and we laugh, and you learn some stuff. There's probably some stuff you're not going to use, but let's be honest, if you can drop your kids off at school, come to Toastmasters, speak a little bit, have some adult conversation, and then pick up the kids later and let them know, hey, I mean business now, this is for you.
Methodist Church. How, and good grief, I've been speaking in public all my life. I was trained to do that. Maybe not trained well, but it doesn't matter. I really don't need Toastmasters, do I? What good can Toastmasters do me?
As a minister, Toastmasters can be a huge benefit because no one's perfect. The only person that is perfect is God. And so we all need to strive for perfection, and we need to increase our speaking skills, because it doesn't matter how prepared you are, you can always get flustered, always get butterflies in your stomach, and you need to try to figure out how to make those butterflies fly. And that is in the Toastmaster manual and the Confident Communicator, talking about how to make the butterflies fly. So that will help you out, because it means, personally speaking, getting up in front of 100 to 200 members in a congregation, I'm going to be a little nervous. Even if I'm prepared, I'm going to be nervous. So Toastmasters will help you build up your confidence and be able to speak and be very positive and confident and it won't let it phase you, and do what you need to do to get your message across to them. So that's why, as a minister, you should be in Toastmasters.
All right, thank you.
what is Toastmasters? Now, 2 years ago, I really did not know what Toastmasters was. I had a few friends that had said, it's a good idea, why don't you go out, join Toastmasters? And I'm like, okay, what is it? And they're like, well, it's a group of people that get together and they work on public speaking. Well, I spent 20 years in the Navy. Last couple of years I was in the Navy. I was an instructor, so I said, well, I kind of know how to do public speaking, at least as far as teaching electronics and things of that nature. And they're like, well, you get to meet some other people. And then told me something that really sunk in. He said, you are the average of your 5 closest friends. And I said, I had never heard that before, but I started thinking about that, and I'm like, yeah, probably 20 to 30% or 20 to 30 of my friends were all either retired military or spouses of retired military or had been in the military for a little while, and everybody really kind of had the same sort of background. We were all technical people, we were all doing things, and so I got to thinking, well, okay, if I join Toastmasters, it'll be a little bit different. As it turns out, the building I was working in had an open house for Toastmasters a few months later, and I said, well, let's check it out, see what's actually going on. And instantly I was grabbed and brought into the meeting, and it wasn't an open house like I'm thinking where people are going to be there to answer questions or anything. It was an actual meeting, and they brought me in, and I was hooked from right there because it was fun. You know, I'd kind of had this idea that it was old stuffy people in suits talking strictly business, and to be honest, there's rarely any business that's talked here. It's almost all, we have a joke master every week that tells us a joke. We all like to laugh. We have a Toastmaster. This is one of the great benefits, is not only do you learn to speak, but you learn how to run a meeting in a very professional, efficient way. And there are weeks where people, just like in a normal business setting, people wind up not showing up. Well, what do you do when someone doesn't show up and they've got a role? It teaches you leadership. Let me real quickly read you the Toastmaster motto, or the mission statement. The mission of Toastmaster Club is to provide a mutual, supportive, and positive learning environment in which every member has the opportunity to develop communication and leadership skills, which in turn fosters self-confidence and personal growth. So, I don't know what you might think Toastmasters is, and it probably to an extent is what you think it is, but it's so much more. And I would highly recommend it. We've had a lot of people who've come in that aren't really good at speaking, but they know they need to be, because let's be honest, if you sit at your desk, you sit in a little cubicle or whatever at work, and you never speak up, you never get involved in meetings or anything, because you just don't have the confidence speaking publicly, this is the place for you, because plain and simple, you're not going to be remembered if you don't speak up. Public speakers make more money than anybody else. People within organizations who are willing to get up and either give short presentations or willing to run a meeting. When eval time comes around, when promotion time comes around, are they going to remember the person that sits in their cubicle typing away and doesn't make any waves? Or are they going to remember that dynamic person that got up in front and started saying things? And that's what we do here at Toastmasters, is we really work in a positive way to bring forth your dynamic speaking ability. We kind of have a word of the day. Today it's perspicuity. I've never heard of it. Try using it. We have a little definition. Perspicuity is clearness or lucidity. The perspicuity of her argument made her opponent see her side. So you're going to learn new words every day. So it's a learning experience. We have people that like to come, and they're here really just to learn, because there's so many backgrounds. I have a real estate agent here. I have a financial advisor who is also someone who has a degree in polymer fibers and taught at a major university. I have an architecture. I have a retired minister who drives around the country in an RV, and he loves to relate stories from his RV, but he does it in a ministerial way without really preaching to you. But it's so interesting to see the various styles. And what we do here is we bring people in, we help them out, we give you positive advice, we give you some feedback as to how you can do things better, present them better to other people, and then we give you more advice, and everybody's laughing, joking, having a good time. And one last point that I really want to hit home with is in 2011, in September, I got laid off from my job, and it was really tough because I was involved here, I was involved at my job, and it wasn't a complete blind side, but it was only a couple of weeks that I kind of got the idea that it was going to happen, so I hadn't really prepared. And I sent a message to all my friends at Toastmasters when I got laid off, and everyone was really positive, everyone was emailing me, a couple of the members called me, and on top of that, a couple of members emailed me with some possibilities that I hadn't even thought about for job potentials with companies that were kind of on the edge of what I've done, but not. I've been an aviation guy, and lo and behold, one of those email, hey, look at this, turned into the job that I have. So, in all honesty, I can thank the Toastmasters that I was only unemployed for 3 weeks, when the average at the time was 4 to 6 months for people to be unemployed. So I want to publicly thank my friends at Toastmasters. I've also joined another Toastmasters group because I work in a different spot, and so there's a group there. So now I'm a member of, in less than 2 years, I've gone from not knowing what Toastmasters is to not only having been president, but now I'm in part of two groups, and right now I'm also working as in the marketing aspect, learning public relationship. So the best thing to do is find a group. We're on the internet. If you're in Pensacola, come to the downtown Toastmasters. We go before everyone starts. If you're somewhere else, find another local Toastmasters. It's a lot of fun. It's great for you. You're going to love the feedback, and you'll be amazed at how much laughing and enjoyable times and the friends that you're going to meet. It's priceless. Thank you.
Lisa, I am an architect. I have my own architectural firm. How can Toastmasters help me?
Well, as an architect, you
Me
have to give...
stand up.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
As an architect, you have to give
I'll talk to the
presentations to groups, and Toastmaster helps you present the information clearly, concisely, and to give them all the information they need to communicate what you can do for them and how to help them have the best architectural building in the world.
camera.
Okay,
Thank you very
excellent.
much.